All right, I gotta stress, living rubber, really big deal. I think you guys know that. South Carolina, I think this is where it was sort of originated as like the, back in whatever year. But living rubber, it was a huge deal like, a long time ago, and everyone kind of forgot about living rubber, and everyone was throwing, silicone. Like that every jig I had in my box up until 2 years ago was a silicone skirt. Every jig. When forward-facing sonar came out, I started playing around, and I started realizing that living rubber is twice as effective when targeting, single fish, like single bass, or super finicky bass. And then there's no difference. If the fish is hungry, it's not gonna not eat living rubber as opposed to silicone. So you get all the advantages with no disadvantages. And the reason it's so good is because of the float factor. It floats far better than silicone. So when that jig falls, and I've got a little video to show you, but when that jig falls, that living rubber, it stands up and it exposes your trailer. So like it opens up, and then the trailer it is fully visible. And then it's also super easily manipulated. It really does a good job. Like if I tap my rod once like that, that living rubber goes nuts down there, right? And it moves, and it's so natural. Because it floats, and it allows the water to it uses the water as opposed to kind of just drooping down. Okay. All right, so this is just a simple video. It's kind of hard to see, but I filmed it in shallow water. I have the confidence with the chunky D on the back and the way this greenfish head is, I can throw this directly into a brush pile where those big ones tend to sit. There you go. So you see how the rubber, the minute I stop it, it opens up. It opens up, and that is it's so necessary when you're targeting, highly pressured fish, which frankly, every fish is super highly pressured nowadays. We've got, 4,000 boat high school tournaments, and which is really good. I think it's great for the sport. We need to get as many people as we can fishing, but there's going to be a lot of pressure on pretty much every lake now in the whole country. And so little details like a skirt, undulating in the water or whatever it may be, that's going to be the difference between finishing 10th and finishing first, whether it be club, regional, whatever. Next slide. All right, dead sticking. Dead sticking is one of 3 techniques I use when I'm jig fishing, and I'm going to get into all 3. I would rather eat paint than dead stick. Like I really do not like dead stick. Like I'm a high energy guy. I want to be throwing a freaking crankbait. I want to be throwing a chatterbait. I want to be flipping as many docks as I can. If you've ever seen me on live, I'm freaking all over the place, right? But with the introduction of forward-facing sonar, I'm able to dead stick without getting impatient because I can read the fish. So I tried still, even with forward-facing sonar, to never dead stick because it's so painfully boring. But it's the most natural presentation you could possibly have. And the reason for that is because we can't mess it up. Humans mess up so often, and it's just the fact of the matter. Like, how many times before forward-facing sonar, how many times have you been working a bait, and then you're like, you know what, it's time for the next cast, and you reel it in and you see a fish and it misses your bait, or you don't see the fish? How many fish do you think you've missed in your whole lifetime of bass fishing? Probably a disgusting number that you wouldn't even want to know.